There's an old police saying that a good night is a boring night. So maybe it makes some twisted sense that victory is a long night, a sad night, mourning the dead. The moment Kenneth the Thing, the Kindred, was dust, Operation Firebrand was pretty much over as far as you're concerned. After the detonation and the firefight at the Croydon train yard, you're no longer in control. One of your team are dead, the other injured, and Khan sucked away into crisis committee meetings with the Croydon police and the JTRF and dozens of experts as they descend on the site. It's a miracle Isaac manages to keep the scene under SO13 jurisdiction. The rest of the night is spent next to sweaty, stern, silent men in unmarked cars, staring at monitors showing neon-lit pawn shop storefronts and rail yards, furtive customers going in and out. The night is spent next to sweaty, stern, silent men waiting for a bomb to go off, in frustrated arguments about things you could do to prevent it. But it doesn't happen. You won. In all probability, it was the bomb that went off in the bomb maker's hideout, killing or injuring half of the Firebrand team. The black dog, Rudy, is still out there, smart enough to go to ground or scared enough. You have them on the run. Or is this all part of their plan? Every lead you found a bait, every victory a ruse, every sacrifice in vain. It's early morning and you haven't slept much. Isaac, Anna and the survivors of the raid, Shirley, Ideku, are in the car ahead of you. Ussel, still in intensive care. Harris, Nigel, dead. He was from Cornwall and the others teased him for going to a Phil Collins concert the other week. He had a son. You ride in the U-Haul van with forensic evidence gathered from the scene before it went crazy. As much as the contents of the bunker, you could get all the photos of devastation. Is it you, Francis, who is driving?
I think it's probably Paul.
Can he drive?
I suppose I could push through anything, really.
Yeah. And also, I mean, you, the dog didn't get you that terribly bad, and the gunshot, you know its pain and you know its locations. There's not that difficult to shift into a lower gear and slow down. Something sloshes, shuffles, wet in the back. The bodies of the dogs, meticulously removed from the scene for tests. But perhaps the most interesting specimen is right up in front, between Paul and Francis, feeling the rays of daylight deep in her bones. You're on your way to a quarantine and debriefing facility, an hour south of London, near the airport. You have an hour's drive ahead of you. Fatigue, hurt, course through you. It's been silent for the last 10 minutes in the car.
I'm sitting there, my body tired and aching, but I try to change how I sit, because it aches in the side of my upper body where I was shot. I move about and it's tight, and I think about my family and I need to call them, but I don't want to wake them up. I look at my phone, there's still no messages.
Your family were taken away You did put them in a secure location, correct?
Well, I just asked Sophia that we could take them to my wife's, Luann's parents.
Yeah, so they will probably be at Luann's parents right now, and probably a couple of unmarked cars in the vicinity, keeping watch over them just in case. But yeah, they're probably just sleeping still for another hour or two before the youngest starts shouting. Teething, you think. There's been a lot of noise the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I've been quiet for the journey. Had my notepad out. I've been making a lot of notes, trying to remember all the observations I've seen in the last 2 or 3 hours. More and more I'm losing faith in this unit. This operation was a shambles. Similar to the shambles a lot of the operations have been. I'm starting to think Mr. Khan doesn't quite have what it takes to actually handle these situations. It's a shame, because I respect the man's achievements, but more and more I've seen him be personally compromised and lead men into situations they seem to have no idea how to respond to. Why were we not told that the reaction to sunlight is that intense? The reports I read made it sound like maybe some discomfort. The video, maybe some mild burning, but the man practically spontaneously combusted in seconds. We should have known. There's going to be a lot that's going to need to change. But there'll be time for that, hopefully. For now, I seem a little relieved that we've at least done the night's mission, although what the suspect said still has me a little on edge. I'm still not quite relaxed, but for now, notes. I'll be wanting to see the suspect. And every now and then I have looked at Ellis, kind of just sort of assessed her state, and then looked back at my notes, and to the window, and to my notes again.
The suspect is in your custody, and you've been told that he is being taken to the same secure facility as you are.
I have been quiet since we got into the car, and sits with her eyes in her lap, just kind of massaging her hands. Very introspective, but when it has been quiet for, what would you say? What did you say? 10 minutes?
10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. It's like I can't stay quiet anymore. So you can hear me just draw a breath and like decide to start talking. Like, there is something wrong with me. I know you know it, and I know it, and I don't know how to talk about this. I'm sorry. Fuck.
My notebook makes a little snap sound as I close it shut. I don't quite look up as I say, "No need to discuss it, Ellis. It's going to be sorted. I'm going to help you, whether you want it or not."
I sigh on my side, grind my teeth while they're talking.
Is that how you see it, Francis? That I'm
course.
gonna be sorted?
Yes, of course. Better than sorted. Cured of your condition. That is proven curable already. It simply takes time and patience, which we haven't had. Don't worry.
Francis, what is my condition and how can we cure it? Can you please explain to me? Talk to me.
You see me sort of push my glasses up a little. And then I kind of lower my tone, looking to Paul, and then back to Ellis. Well, I I've already said before, haven't I? If you were listening in the briefings as well, you obviously are stage 1 of this infection. The first stage being, from what I've read and my own extrapolation, the period where somehow upon ingesting or getting in your system the contagion, you are now dependent on it, or at least you think you are, similar to a high-functioning drug addict. However, as Khan explained, it is not a permanent state. It is possible to wean you off it.
Yes, and he did say something about that. He said that he had a similar condition himself, that he was dependent on it, that he was dependent on the same substance, this blood. How much have you had since, or have you had any since that incident with the lens fluid container?
What if it's not? What if it's not curable for me? I still feel like me, you know? I still think like me. It's still me. It's just that it's different. And like, do you think they will kill me when we get there?
Isaac said that whatever you and he has, it's not the same. If the condition, the real condition required one to die, and you haven't died. You were just in the hospital and you got better overnight.
It's not true.
What?
I died. Michael told me.
That madcap, you know, he would say anything to...
No, Paul, I'm sorry. It's true. And what I want to know, what I want to talk about is options. I shot you. It's on my inner eye all the time. I shot you and I can't explain why, and I would never shoot any of you, and still I shot you.
From what I've seen, the condition is able to muddle even the most strong-willed minds.
Yeah, but you don't get it. It's stuff that I haven't told you. That is... it's worse. And...
Is it about Michael and what happened there?
yes.
I'm sure you... I mean, I know I understand that you are confused. And that things have been very confusing, but if you would have any of your old focus left, you would probably see, just as us, that the story you presented is not very airtight.
I know. I always been a super bad liar. Fuck.
Well, in your defense, you might have been able to get away with it if you hadn't acted so erratically before and after the event. Now, believe it or
God
not...
damn it, Francis, stop. Just stop. You look at everything like it's some kind of plus and minus in a big chart. It's not that easy. You don't know what it's like. You don't know, like, everything is kind of burning inside me, and I can't think and I can't act, that everything is so fucked up, you know? And I'm scared. I'm scared and I'm angry. And I'm scared that you will think that I want to hurt you, because I don't.
I bite down on my lip, as I'm not sure what to say to this. In a way, I just wish to be far away from this situation. Listen, this is just what's been happening. It's been too much. I can't do this. I can't be on operations like this anymore. I have a family. It's too much for me to take care of, and I would not wish to hurt you in any way, Alice. I would do what I can. You know, if there's anything that I could do for you that you think would help you, then just say it.
Just remember that when they take me away and when they write in my file that I was another of these, whatever you call it, blanks, I am still me. I am still me, and I need you both to remember that.
I remove my glasses to sort of rub them against my coat, and I let out a sigh. Alice, you seem to be forgetting something. I think the way Mr. Khan is handling things is currently wrong. This policy of instant killing people suffering from this condition, even at the more advanced stages, is madness. I am going to try and help you. I'm only been concerned before now because I was worried that it would get the better of you, whatever this is, and lead you to causing problems. But I'd like to think that somehow you've actually managed to stop that happening. And that's good, because I want to help you.
Agreed.
Okay.
The problem is, with previous experiments that have been trying to be conducted, these blank bodies, whatever you want to call them, they have been on another side. They have chosen another allegiance. They have been... this, I suppose, is me speculating because I don't know the full truth here, but all I've seen is a woman being captured and held in a chair with some kind of sadist soldiers performing very unscientifical experiments on her. If we have you, and you can retain yourself, your personality, and be with us, then I see no reason for us not being able to keep you in a safe place where Francis can keep doing the tests, and if it is blood you must have to sustain yourself, then surely that could be provided through donors, through ordinary ways.
It's certainly possible, Paul. Also, Alice, you're forgetting that I am a virologist. I understand more than you. You said yourself you don't know what's happening to you. But I think I do. You're concerned about being... First of all, we don't even know how long you were dead for. Were you brain dead for a few seconds, a few minutes? Did it have anything to do with the contagion? Not to mention, you've been having this funny thing called not exploding in the sun this morning.
I know, isn't it strange? I should have, right? But I've been feeling so shitty. But I'm thinking about something else as well. Like, all these blanks, they have this kind of secrecy, right? This secret society that they are protecting, and I don't know if I'm like them, but I'm not with them because nobody and I think maybe maybe we could use that in some way, that somehow I became this thing, but I'm not part of the secret thing, so maybe I'm
sure that if they can, they will try to capture you and do whatever brainwashing that they do,
in fact,
to try and get you over on their side.
In fact, to be perfectly honest, me and Paul, if I'm honest, we thought you were doing it already.
Doing what?
We thought tonight you might, against your own will, attempt to join with them or be persuaded that they were your side or some nonsense like that. Luckily it didn't happen, but it was something we were prepared for. Remember, you told me that you had died.
Yeah, and that is the weirdest thing. Like, when we were at the casino, you know me, Paul, I would never raise my gun against you. We work together, and still, it's like... we don't know what kind of powers they have, right? What if he made me or something? What if I turn against you again?
Yes, that's the thing. That is why we cannot use you as any form of live bait or anything else to get them to us. the risk of them somehow recruiting you through their very strong, I don't know, ways of persuading people. I don't know. I don't understand. Could there be some sort of drug, or could anything in the virus do that? You would know this. What can anything leave you susceptible to suggestions?
Yes, of course. It's the so-called truth serums, things that can be pumped into you that make you tell the truth. Of course, often it's hallucinogenics, and often things that aren't quite that, but the science is there. Of course.
Maybe there is some sort of similar chemical. You had been drinking all that blood that very same day. Just hours before that happened. Perhaps there is some inducing chemical in it, leaving you very open to suggestions. I look very skeptical and unsure as I say this, but hopeful.
I look desperate, but trying to keep my calm. It's about the blood. It has to be about the blood. I don't know how, because I'm not an expert, but it has to be. Everything is about the blood.
The car is slowing down at another stop in front of a red light, and there's a family convertible pulling up next to you. And you, Gabriel, you see the family, the little kids, one a ginger, the other one more brown tufts of hair coming out of their small head, smiles. The parents arguing over a cell phone on the way on the map shown on the phone. They're happy, innocent, and you think you can smell them from here. It's morning, sun beaming. You're sweating. It must be closer to 7:30. You should be there pretty soon.
I don't know. I don't know what to do for the first time. I never not know what to do. And for the first time Fuck.
I just lean forward and remark, "You're going to have to trust me in this. The research on this condition, I can tell you from what I've read, currently is ridiculous. It's inconclusive, conjecture, and the amount of superstition that somehow has wormed its way into actual scientific investigation is... I have no idea who's been running it, but I can assure you now I've been brought in on things. It's going to change. For the better."
I don't expect you to be on my side. You know that, right? I know what I did. I know what I've done. Fuck. I can't explain. It's hard to talk about. I can't explain it, and I can't...
No, you listen here, Alice. Don't see what has happened now as you being condemned. This would be what anyone on the other side would want you to think. You are still you, just like you are saying. There is a way back. Isaac has proved this. Even if you might have advanced to some other stage, you're still not like them.
Paul, you don't know what I did with Michael. I almost killed him. And it felt good.
And you drank from him.
Yes.
And that is inexplicable. It is. I don't understand even how could you make such perfect circular puncture mark on his neck. You look normal. Your teeth are normal. This makes me think of silly old films. What did you do? Do you remember?
You see the car in front, the right turn-off light is starting to click. Isaac and Anna are taking a ride down towards a sign that says Brewery House, G4S. It seems to be a corporate housing facility of some sort. As you pass through the gates, you see these armored gates, the high fence surrounding the buildings. It's almost hotel-like buildings at first, you think, but there's little checkpoints at the door, a small park, 3 houses. Isaac's car brakes in front of one of them. There's GS4 corporate logos here and there. So it's this place you've seen, I think, in the news. It's a detention facility that is being built by a private security firm to house what is assumed to be mostly immigrant cases. It looks completely fresh and new built. It's the trucks taking away the last of the work material and so on are still there, and there's a couple of containers with builder's equipment there. It almost smells of fresh paint as you get out of the car.
I just want to say before we get out of the car that whatever they do now, just know that I didn't mean to hurt him, I didn't mean to kill him, but I can't control this, but I'm not a murderer, okay? I'm not a killer. I'm still me. You have to remember this.
I turn up the ignition and I remove the keys and the seatbelt, and I sit there for a little while before I open the door. Then I say, yeah. And the way I see it, you've passed the first stages. You were completely uncontrollable almost. You were completely uncontrollable when we were out there in Watford. You tried so hard to escape from everything, and everything calmed down after you got that... after you drank from him. If we just keep you supplied with blood in another way, or if that's what you need, if that's what you need, then that's what we'll do, and we'll figure this out. We've got Ward. You've got people around you. We will see this through, alright? But don't try not to blame yourself further, but rather try to see how we can move forward together, alright? I want you to be one of the team. If I'm going to stay on this, I need to know that that's how you see it as well. That this is not just something you do while trying to figure things out.
Yes. Paul, I can't be the leader of this team anymore. You understand that? You have to take over.
I kind of frown a little as I say, in a way, we already have been.
I know. I'm so sorry.
I believe you, Alice. I generally do.
Let's go. And I open the door and I get out.
I get out as well.
Yeah, Anna is outside, opening the back doors, lowering the ramp. Beep, 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 beep. So I'm taking out some of the big plastic military boxes with remnants and evidence, showing Shirley where to unload them at the dock. Turns around to you. Yeah, welcome to Brewery House. The place isn't set to see any use until January, so we have a while.
Good.
We don't think anyone knows we're here, and it's off the books. So should suit our purposes quite fine.
I look over at Isaac. How is he looking? He's been up all night talking to people.
Yeah, Isaac hasn't gotten out of the car yet, and you see him nodding, almost falling asleep, and shaking himself awake and stepping out. He goes up to the main door and starts swiping a key card. The entrance is a couple of larger plate glass windows with a smaller door inside the larger front windows. He steps in and you see him opening the second door. It's like a sluice with an opening where a guard is supposed to sit and check papers and so on. Even there's a second barrier to entrance or exit. It at second look, it doesn't look as much a hotel as it does a prison.
Before we go in, I take Paul's arm. Paul, I want you to take my gun, and I give you the gun, my gun.
Thank you. Now, come on. And I just nod for you to go before me.
I walk. My posture is defeated, in a way.
Inside through the glass doors, you see the chairs are the same molded dark blue plastic. Table is white. Yeah, it has that pre-manufactured feel. Yeah, the rest of the team go into the main hall, sort of a reception area with chairs. Corridors lead off in all directions. There's a second floor. Could be hotel corridors, only that the doors are considerably sturdier. Countdowns around goes. You've had sleep, any of you? You slept?
No.
No.
Alright. I think we all need that. But first, he puts down a military bag. A couple of them he's been carrying. Anna is on her way still into the entrance with a trolley with 2 large military bags. Or crates, rather, of plastic. Before we crash out for the day for some well-deserved rest, let me begin by saying that I consider Operation Firebrand a preliminary success. We got one, no bomb blew up.
Yes.
Yes. I know we're hoping for more leads, and I know that I went out of my way to try to give you an operational mandate that would enable you to search for leads and continue this. I am still dedicated to that purpose. We're here to continue the investigation, make no mistake. But before then, we all deserve a little rest and reorientation.
Yeah. I look behind me. Is the rest of the team... Is anyone else coming? Who do we have left now standing? Andrea?
The rest of the team is there. It's Isaac, it's Anna, it's Shirley. He did make it out. And Ideko. The others dead or in intensive care. Yeah, Dave is still in the city.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's about half of the team, less than that. But Isaac tries to pull himself straight again. It's always going to be complicated to coordinate these efforts with other government bodies. That's why we sometimes need unconventional facilities like this. We hope to get this done in just a day, and we hope that you can see your families already tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, for sure before the weekend. But are we in agreement that we need some seclusion to talk through some issues before then, team?
Yeah.
Good. Now, I have here our lovely rooms. He takes up an envelope that's lying on one of the tables. Yeah, this G4S facility will start to be used by the company in a few months. But yeah, before then, Simon has been kind enough to lend it to us. So here is 249, 247. Deals out key cards like they were hotel cards, and you can see there's numbers above all of the doors. Dark green doors. You each have a separate room. And yeah, let's say we rest until, shall we say, 1800 hours and meet back here then. We have a conference room on the second floor that we can use. I will make sure equipment is set up as much as possible. Anna, you've gotten the most rest of us. Will you make sure that the lab trucks make it here and start installing the stuff there as well? Good. You can sleep of the proud, of the just. You done well, folks. You done real well.
I yawn as well, and cover my mouth as I do. Take the key card and I look at Alice and Ward one more time and I say, let's get some sleep.
Of course. I wrinkle my nose a little as Khan finishes. To me, an operation where so many were injured and dead is hardly good work. If they'd just waited a little longer, if they'd at least let us confirm things. But no, they just went straight in, not to mention the main suspect being Kindling. But I'm tired, and I just nod my head and retire to my rooms. For now, having Alice put away for safety seems maybe a little premature, as she has been more forthcoming, and maybe that's not the best method right now. So I shall not mention anything on that regard.
I find a shower in the facility, and I take that, and as I feel the water on me, I smile despite myself. We actually got another one. I remember what a great victory it was that we got the first one. People were really impressed with that, and now we've got 2 down. It's too bad about the casualties, but considering the enemy, I somehow think we're making progress. We even got a bargaining chip. We've got a name. We might have something to continue with. And then I just shake my head. What am I thinking? I'm not supposed to do this. I'm supposed to stop this now. I can get out and be with my family. And it's a strange feeling of this drowsiness and adrenaline to want to push on that I have when I come back to my bed and take out my phone and just text to the family group that we have. Hope you're all well. Had a long night. Give Granny and Grandpa a hug for me. And turn off the phone. I think to myself that I'm unlike to get some sleep without any form of, well, any stuff. But I'll try.
You think you fall asleep. Yeah, you do. For you, it comes fairly easy. All you leave behind is the ashes in the shower. Francis, your room is small, cramped, and has an okay view through a square window with heavy plate glass, but it wants to look nice. It doesn't quite fool you, though. nor does it fool Gabrielle. But you, Alice, your fatigue is of a different magnitude. Now that the sun is starting to climb towards the zenith late morning, it becomes harder and harder to even stay awake. You think you hear footsteps out in the corridor. Maybe there are whispers. Are they talking about you in the next room? But you're so tired.
Yeah. I go into the bathroom that usually is without window and just falls asleep on the floor, but I lock the door first.
Crawled around the toilet seat in a fetal position in absolute darkness. You drift off, not into sleep, but a deeper thing. A torpor so like death that no dreams move through it. A shutting off of everything. And the absolute certainty that what you hear, the last thing you hear, is the beating of your heart slowing, stopping before you fall asleep. There's a knock on Paul's door just before you manage to go to sleep.
Yes.
It's Anna. It's Anna. Get up.
I sit up in the bed, put my legs on the floor. What?
Yeah, Isaac wants to talk to you. Yeah, before you crash. I'm sorry, this one last thing.
Where is he?
He's just in the cafeteria grabbing a coffee. He's got fresh coffee for you as well.
Yeah. 2 minutes.
Same thing on your door, Francis.
I look a little annoyed. I'd literally just taken off my jacket, still covered in a little bit of debris, and I just sort of look at Kitawara. Yes?
She sneezes. Oh, sorry. Oh, fucking dust from the bags. So, okay.
Yes, what is it?
Stay quiet. Isaac wants to work with you. Right, just before you crash. I'm sorry. It's gonna be quick.
All right, but there comes a point, even in a situation like this, where exhaustion doesn't help anyone. Fine.
He's haggard, worn. He's dragging himself with his last energy. Uncharacteristically, he's got 2 empty paper mugs of coffee in front of him. He's sitting down. He doesn't even get up to shake your hand, but he nods. Thank you for being so forthcoming with Kitwara about your suspicions. I guess you can guess what this is about.
I was hoping it might wait a little, but fair enough. I'd like to note, Mr. Khan, that circumstances have altered just a little. I do believe, in regard to future actions, that Sergeant Gabriel Ellis is willing to cooperate with us in whatever we decide to do.
We will make final decisions, not now, as you say, but for now, just very quickly. I have thought of this, your information, and is there any chance you're mistaken?
How so?
I think it is for the best to maintain the line we are currently on. Telling her that she is simply enamored by their blood, that is her addiction. The same one I had, the first stages as you have referred to them.
Do you mean that you know more than you have let on?
No. Actually, maybe even less. Your suspicion that she was an enemy combatant, does that mean you believe that she has died and has been turned?
I sort of frown. I look to Paul, and I remark, I do not think she has died. She did, apparently. However, from my own studies and what has occurred, I still do not believe that that actually means from what you've told me, that the infection has gone to its final stage. I believe she is indeed still at stage 1, or at least somewhere, maybe a little beyond it, but not to the point of truly being on enemy combatant. I made that judgment based more on her mentality and how I believed the condition can affect the mind. But she came forward and informed us of some of the things that she's going through, and I actually do believe her willpower is going to win out if she is taken care of properly.
Good. That is that's wonderful news. That's great news. I want to know if there was anything we needed to do right away.
I look at Paul and I say, I don't believe there is. However, Khan, we are going to need to do something about it soon. She is going to need to be taken in, to be looked after, and her corporation could help with the research, which I'm sure I don't need to tell you. It's completely lacking at present.
I have taken what little steps and measures that are within my humble jurisdiction to remedy that situation. There are trucks of laboratory equipment being trucked to this location as we speak. During tomorrow, you will be able to set up a laboratory to your taste, and you will be in charge of it. Do you understand?
I do. Don't forget as well, to be honest, Ellis is cooperating.
Yes.
The other suspect, well, perhaps, depending on their cooperation, stricter measures can be taken.
The lab will be equipped to deal with both avenues of investigation, Dr. Ward. I cannot foresee all your needs, so I would like you to complement the lists that I took the liberty of the lists of the equipment that I took the liberty of ordering. And he hands you a sheaf of papers, which is filled with name and model numbers for forensic equipment.
Excellent. I look it over, looking to Paul, and then back at the papers. Seems like you have most things covered. We shall need UV lighting facilities, samples, things we can administer blood to, airtight containers. Yes, no, but most of this is looking good. I will make the revisions I need.
I sit there and I've been mostly spinning the coffee mug, not feeling that I have too much to add unless asked.
Paul, are you well enough to work in a couple of days' time?
That depends on the nature of the work, I suppose. What I've been doing so far has been quite straining.
Yes. There will be others for that. The losses we have suffered tear at our innards, and the losses are fresh. But we mustn't let that distract us too much. Nigel will be replaced, as will several of the assault team members. It is my goal to have an operational facility here before the weekend.
Good. And you might want to brief all fellow individuals that if we are taking in suspects, maybe it's good to know that they react that way. If we'd known just a few moments beforehand, we could have an actual advanced case in custody.
Yes. It took us by surprise that the suspect that you tried to detain combusted so quickly. We believed he was of a less advanced stage. And to be honest, I didn't know it was going to be so fast. And but this underlines the need for your work, both of your work. We are setting up a operations room for you, Paul, to coordinate actions in London via remote teams for now.
I nod in agreement to this.
So this will be your working environment for the next months.
Well, that suits me just fine. I was going to say, Mr. Khan, that for future investigations, I am going to be requesting to be taken off field work and be fully in line with investigative measures in this new problem, if you get my meaning.
Yes, your expertise was long sought for, and now we have it, and we don't intend to misuse it. And you, Paul, you have been on the ground in one of the most successful blank body investigations in this organization's history. The trail doesn't end here, we're fairly certain.
Yes, I'm quite pleased with that we have new names and other venues to go down.
Good, I'm happy I don't have to press the lockdown button on Alice's room now.
Yes. I think with regards to that it's very important for us to make her feel that she is part of the team.
Yes.
I have
no suspicions or if I think it's mostly Anna that you have riled up now.
I understand that. But I also believe that there might be attempts of trying to recruit her, perhaps from if the organization is aware that she is in this stage, which I don't know if they do. I don't know how much they know at all. I don't know if they know that I'm involved or who is involved, because so far we've not really left any string untied.
Yeah, we believe that no one has known that you are investigating this specifically. It's almost a lucky break that this Michael, who suspected Ellis, is still in intensive care. The blood loss was bad, but as you say, no one knows what we know. Still, the strike could have been an accident. Someone will suspect it, but the question is who, how. These questions are for you to answer, Paul.
Right. And one final note on Alice, I suppose, is that after the attack on Michael, she suddenly started acting far less erratically. It was as if she sorely needed whatever she was doing there. And if we can keep her, I look a bit uneased. If we can keep her fed somehow, or this desire sated, I mean, I think that could be maybe a peaceful way of having her still focused on the mission.
I understand. There's more to discuss on this. My suggestion is that we keep her on the blank body blood. We have some reserves of that substance. We can use that rather than human blood. We don't know if she really needs human blood. We don't know if this Michael was fully uninfected.
Interesting. Yes, I hadn't thought of that.
I would rather not feed one of my own human blood. We know the effects of the blank body blood, the kindred juice. We know it. I know it.
The only
keep
thing
it on
that I
that.
then want to ask, Mr. Khan, is you have a supply of blank body blood?
Yes.
Well, I'm definitely going to be wanting some of that for my investigations.
Yes. There.
How have you been able to attain this if you go in with lethal intent?
I've saved one.
What?
Yes.
There's one alive?
Yes.
Where?
I was thinking about bringing him here.
If you believe we have the resources to contain the subject, but I don't want you moving something from a good place to a less secure place, if you don't have to.
Are you keeping this one fed, then?
This one has been given animal blood.
Huh. Willingly?
It is. It's not. He hasn't been captured long. You will recognize him, I think. But let us cross that bridge when we need to.
Certainly.
I'm elated. You trust Alice still. She may be the key to new methods and new methods of operation. Methods of operation that you and I, Paul, will need to make. We need to create a new playbook. What do we do when we have something they want, someone they want? If she is indeed turned somehow, in some way, even though the signs don't show it, think of the value of that operational asset.
I slurped down the coffee as if it were a shot of tequila. Sure.
Sleep tight.
And I get up and I wince a bit in pain. But it's getting better and I'm learning how to walk and how to deal with it for now. And I'm thinking to myself, how could it be that we know this one? We recognize him?
As you're getting up, I say, if you're having problems, Paul, remember I can check your dressings and see if everything's alright. You've been exerting yourself a little too much.
Thank you. Would you mind?
I wouldn't. It's fine. And before going to bed, I would give him a quick check over just to make sure that nothing's been torn in the stitching too badly or anything like that.
Yeah, you dress him down and give him new bandages. Some of them have not so much bled through, but they have moisture in them. They're healing quite well. None of them have any bleeding anymore. But the wounds are pretty bad, and a lesser man would be hospitalized for weeks for injuries like this. But the sling he has his arm in, and the many small puncture wounds that have been healed, or not healed, but that have been dressed. You clean them, redress them, and he's almost fine.
How's your mother?
My mother? Oh. I'm sure she's fine. I'll have to make a call tomorrow, I suppose, just to check. But it's one night. Hopefully one of the maids should have been over there and fed her something. If not, she can still sometimes take care of herself. It's not an issue.
How old is she now?
She's about going to be 82 in March. Yes, 82 in March, that's right.
That's good. Going strong.
Well, yes, for now. Probably won't be too many more years left, but who knows, maybe there'll be a new breakthrough.
Yeah, it's good to have them around. My parents are still alive as well. I don't take care of them near was well enough. Your efforts are commendable there.
Well, if I didn't take care of her, there's no one else who would. And her condition... It's a good thing I'm a doctor.
You're doing well for yourself, aren't you? You could put her in good care.
No, not good enough. My condition is... very... one of those wasting diseases that... Simply, the facilities aren't good enough. If I put her in care, she'd be gone in a year, I imagine. Under my care, I can keep her going.
You don't trust them?
No.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I would probably rather have my parents move in with us than seeing them in a home of some sort. But hopefully that won't happen for a few more years.
No, hopefully I intend for her to pass at home. It's what she'd want. It's what she wants. And... but preferable to myself. But, again, for now, she's fine.
What do you think about that wound there? The wound.
Oh, your wounds. Yes, well, again, it's not been very helpful doing things like jumping over fences, Paul, but luckily, I think you actually have managed to keep off most of your weight, and it's actually looking acceptable.
Yeah. Well, if it's true what Isaac says now, that things will stick a bit more to command, then that should be good. And you'll be in your laboratory, though they might need you on any sort of forensic work out now and again.
Yeah.
But maybe not so much slinging that gun.
Indeed. Well, as I said, I'm hoping in the coming months to be done with field work. I've had my time on the field. I've learned a good few things from yourself and Ellis, but it's not what I got in this business for. I'm here for the science.
Speaking of which, I still have Dave's gun, I realize, and I look down at my bag. Would you like to keep mine?
Well, I suppose. Why not? Although I'll need to keep it on the premise. I don't actually have a license out of work to have one.
I won't tell.
I actually smirk a little and then get back to administering aid, and then I will bid you good night.
And I will once again lie down on the bed after having pulled the curtains and try to get some sleep.
Eyes closed. This time sleep comes faster. The dreams go so quickly that you're awakened in the middle of them. In the middle of a rapid movement of the eyes, the gushing of imagination, the processing of the last few days. Wake up to an unsettling composite image of Anna-Karin in a kitchen cooking some sort of blood sauce that is boiling over in the kitchen. The timer is going off again and again, and she just curses. Stay down, stay down. You wake up to the soft alarm of your phone, set to 1800 hours. The confusing dream still in your head.
I slept long. I I imagined I would wake up before the alarm. Oh, that was disturbing. I look at the phone, and any calls, messages.
Yes, this message is from her family. There's, look, Mom and Dad have built, Grandma and Granddad have built a new outhouse. Look, it's really pretty. And there's a photo of 4 of the kids climbing on the top of what looks like a dog house that's being built out there, or a little recreational cottage. It's very sweet.
I smile. I send 4 smileys with heart eyes.
They whoosh away, comforting your family, telling them that everything is exactly as it should be. But as you go to another day at work, you realize that nothing is. In the garage park under the living facility, the evidence is laid out, bare under sharp lights. The bodies of 4 dogs. Ashes, broken, twisted metal. Fried computers, husks. What remains of the ashes of Kenneth Wilson. In bags. No, this is definitely not going to be a normal day.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the chronicle No Man is an Island for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Our storyteller was Martin Ericsson, and we were also joined by Anna-Karin Linder. The music was created by Lola Zaza for the game Vampire Prelude, We Eat Blood and All Our Friends Are Dead, and was used with permission from White Wolf. The sound effects are from the fine folks at freesound.org. Finally, a big thank you to our patrons. This podcast would not be possible without your generous support on Patreon. You give us so much energy, help us cover our costs, and open up time to record and edit. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. And remember, death is not the end.